Okay, my very good evening to you all. Can you hear me? Samisa Mahinadu?
Yes, sir. We can hear.
Okay. Right. Lamai here, I have power cut, right? So there's no way of switch on my camera. And in case connection is interrupted, please stay on online. So I'll come back quickly, right? So we'll continue. I hope I can continue till power comes back, right? So totally, in case my connection is interrupted, so don't leave the discussion rooms. You can stay online, right? So I'll come back quickly. So we can start. Right, today we are going to discuss spreadsheet model design principle. So our subject is accounting modeling. In the last discussion, first session, we discussed what do we expect from accounting modeling. Basically, we are going to provide a particular solution to a particular recognized accounting issue, right? Okay, then before moving on to the today's topics, so shall we have a look at the learning outcomes? So these are what you are supposed to achieve at the end of the discussion. So at the end of this session, you should be able to explain each of the spreadsheet model design principles, explain the importance of proper model design and model planning, identify existing and potential spreadsheet model errors and use of range names and spreadsheet auditing tools. Finally, protecting the models you develop. So accordingly, in this session, we are going to discuss the fundamentals or basic principles that are important when it comes to develop any model. So actually, without knowing these models, model principles or model design principles, it would be difficult for you to develop any particular model, accounting or finance model for any given scenario. So accordingly, at the beginning, I told you, if you have prior knowledge, definitely you all are expected to have knowledge about Excels because you have studied the principles of Excels and the application for your IT subjects during the year one. So accordingly, your knowledge is definitely will be an added advantage. But with those prior Excel knowledge itself, you won't be able to prepare a model because under accounting modeling, we expect you to maintain or to comply with certain model design principles. So accordingly, it is a must. You should be aware of these model design principles. So once you couple or blend your Excel knowledge with these model design principles, then yes, you can do a very good job. Okay, so according these are the learning outcomes. Right. Before moving on to today's topic, I would like to give you an opportunity to share your ideas or views about our first activity. So we gave this information or data related to a particular scenario organization, relating to some information or data about profit projection for the year 2023. So don't think how these projected figures develop, right? It's up to the management. Let's say you, after the consultation of the management or the uh, relevant parties, you should be able to gather this data, right? By way of a discussion, or they have given you these assumptions, subject to some assumptions, or and they are future plannings, right? These are the expected, some of the data they have forecasted, so predicted. Based on this key of some basic data, you are required to prepare a net profit projection or forecast for the year 2023 on a monthly basis. So these are the information available to you. Accordingly, I would like to give you, any of you, an opportunity to share your workings with us. Samisa make api kare nane kiya sati. I think we gave you the opportunity. Right. So let me to give you the rights to share. So now all participants can share their workings. Definitely next week onwards, you are given opportunity to share your workings, so activities, so that we can discuss your model. So any issues you have encountered during your model development process, you have encountered issues, right? So who is going to voluntarily present or share their workings? If you are joining with us, your mobile phone, it is not possible, I know, but actually it is very important to join with this session with the laptop or desktop so that you can use Excel, right? Solamai, who is going to share your workings? How you prepare? How you tackle this situation or this requirement? කවුද share කරන්න යන්නේ? දැන් ස්ක්‍රීන් එක share කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයාලගේ Excel sheet එක on කරගන්න. ඒ activity එක answer එක ready කරන්න. ඊට පස්සේ share screen යන්න. ඔයාලගේ screen එක share එකට ගිහිල්ලා ඔයාලගේ Excel sheet එක පෙන්නන්න. කවුද මුලින් ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්නේ? Okay, නැත්නම් ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් අපි නම් කියනවා. හරි. මුලින්ම chance එකක් දෙනවා. You are now third year students. Very soon you are going to the final year students, right? And they are the professionals. So you should have the personality, voluntarily come forward and show your workings. How the volunteer වෙන්නේ? Okay. එහෙමනම් yes, me 20300.
Sir, shall I share the screen?
Yes, you can share. Yeah, anyone can now share.
Okay. I can't share while you are sharing, sir.
Sorry. I made a mistake, right? It's happened, right? Sorry, extremely sorry. You can't share while I'm share. Yes. Okay. Monthly wise, okay. Profit projection for 2023, sales January given, thereafter sales January, cost of sales should be, I think, 40%, and gross profit is given. It seems as far as the result is concerned, output is concerned, report is concerned, it seems nice and good looking, right? But the thing, this is not an accounting model. Like accounting model or අවශ්‍ය result එක දීලා තියෙනවා. හරි හොඳයි, right? හොඳ සහායක් අපි බලමු මේකේ තියෙන අඩුපාඩු මොනවද කියන එක. This is perfectly, you have delivered the intended report to the user, right? Now what if user මෙතන පොඩ්ඩක් අපි හිතමු දැන්, so what are the given information? Let me to look at the it is sales growth monthly දීලා තියෙනවා, then cost of sales 40% on sales. Okay, Now, what if management think, let's say tax rate is 20% given, so those are the given information. Now, what if management, let's say later identified government is going to increase the tax rate as a part of their fiscal policy to cope with the current economic pandemic, government is going to increase the tax rate. In case government now decide to increase the tax rate from 20% to let's say 30%, what will happen? Right? Then you have to again prepare the report, because we have prepared this report very nicely and should be, I think, accurately and correctly. You have prepared the report based on those given data. Now, you know, it's a profit forecast or projections and subject to a lot of assumptions. So, right, based on the management, right, best estimate or whatever the assumptions. So accordingly, when management now think tax rate is going to be increased from 20% to 30%, then this report is no longer useful, right? Okay. Anyway, it's a very good attempt and very good, nicely prepared reports. Though there are some fundamental violation of model design principles. Okay, good. So very good. Okay, next one. Who is going to present next?
Excuse me, sir. Shall I share my screen?
Yes, now you can.
Thank you, sir.
Share.
So I have shared my screen. I hope is it
Yeah, it's
visible?
coming now. Okay, yeah, it's visible. Okay, you have given the basic, you have taken the relevant given data or as inputs, starting sales, growth rate, cost of sales, operating expenses as a percentage of sales is 20% and tax rate is given. Good. It seems good, right? Almost very nicely done, very good. And just delete all the inputs in the input area, Akila. Right, nice, right? Good. එතකොට මේ input area එකේ delete කරපුවාම report එක model එකක්. Then this is a model, right? Actually, you could have mentioned here the input area. This is the input area. හරි මේකට හිටියද undo කරන්න. You can just undo. Okay, you can have the heading called input area or inputs above the yeah, that's place input area, or then here you have the output area, right? Yeah, some about that and row. Okay, output or report, right, is given there. So this is a nice model. Now, if you want, right, you can easily alter or change any of these rates. Right now, make cost of sales 50%. Yeah, you can see quickly it responds, right? Quickly it responds. It's good, right? It's a nice one, right? Both right reports or the shared activities, right? Your answers are very nice. As per the models are concerned, the second one is very good one, right? Okay, one more thing. Are there any students who have done prepared the separate different types of approach, prepared the model or the answer using a different approach? Talk out of another share කරන්න කැමැති. Okay, good, right? And we right, I thanks all these students who volunteered, right, to share their activity answers, right? Okay, so we'll have a look at how we can prepare this. These are very simple examples, right? So here we can first identify the inputs. We can say inputs or inputs area. Input area, and the input area we can take the relevant data we have. I think we can copy. We'll try whether we can copy and paste, and I think not possible, right? So we'll take sales growth rate 5%, cost of sales 40, right? Only 5 data items. Sales 150,000 in sales growth 5%. Then cost of sale, it is 40%. Then operating expenses, %, and tax rate is 20% also same. Okay, so these are the given information. Based on this information, so these sales January, right? January month sales.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, your screen
Yeah.
is not visible, sir.
Okay, right. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So I just you don't need to worry about that. I just took the information or given data to the model, right? So this is your input area. Then you are asked to prepare the sales profit or profit forecast or profit projection. So we'll take it as the output. So we can say output area. So let's say we want to show the sales, cost of sales, then gross profit, then operating expenses, profit before tax, tax expense, then profit after tax. Right. So don't worry about the layout. It's up to you to decide whether we should have the separate column for profit before tax and profit after tax, right? So it's not the big deal. Okay. So output area. So this is your output area, and output area you need to show your profit forecast on the monthly basis. So we can say this one is January and February. So I think you can copy. So I prepare up to November, right? Okay. Then sales. Sales, we can take it from the given sales for the month of January. It is this one. Just enter. So we'll discuss Ramai later when it comes to develop, discuss model design principles. It is very important. We don't type values inside the reports. We don't type values inside the report. Always we take figures from we take the values by referring to the input area, right? So accordingly, we don't type here 150,000 because if you type any figures inside your report or the output area, your flexibility of the model is lost and the efficiency of the model is lost. You won't be able to manipulate your report by changing or manipulating your inputs values. So accordingly, right? So we discuss those principles later. So sales is 150,000. Okay. Then cost of sale. Cost of sales equals, we can say we can put as a minus figure if you wish, minus this 1 minute. Yes, cost of sale is equal minus this multiplied cost of sales ratio, this one. And let me to make it fixing. Yes. Okay, then gross profit is the difference between these two. So we can say gross profit equal this, because there's a minus figure, we can say plus this. Okay. Then operating expenses equals given sales multiplied operating expenses ratio. Now you can see operating expenses is a positive value, so you can simply make it you can make it as minus figure simply by incorporating minus symbol there. Then profit before tax is the difference between gross profit minus operating expenses. So equal this plus this, or you can apply sum as well. Then tax is equal this times tax rate. Again, you can see tax is a positive value. You can make it minus value by incorporating minus value here, minus sign. Then profit after tax is simply sum of these two. This you can say plus this, or you can apply sum formula. So this is the profit for the year one. Sorry, for the month of January. When it comes to February month, it is right. It is said sales is subject to monthly growth of 5%. We have to assume it is monthly growth, right? So monthly sales growth is 5%. So accordingly, February month sale equals to January sales multiply, growth rate is applied as 1 plus growth rate. 1 plus growth rate. Close the bracket. Right? Enter. So accordingly, January month sale is 150,000. When it comes to February month, it increased by 5%. So accordingly, January sales increased by 5%. So accordingly, it is 157,500. It means the 5% of 150,000 should be 7,500. 5% of 150,000 is 7,500. So accordingly, February month sale is 157,500. Then cost of sale, you don't need to again apply the formula, because this formula can be copied here. And this gross profit formula can be copied here. Right? And this can be copied here. So we'll later discuss this, right? So it's not a big deal. So like this, you can copy all these formula. If you want, you can copy this to month of December, only visible up to November, right? So you can see, right, 1 minute, I have made a mistake. So these mistakes happen when develop models, right? Actually, these mistakes are the mistakes we have to discuss in the today's session. Okay, so you can see here the mistake I did is I have not accurately applied the cell reference. Okay, so accordingly, here 1 plus growth rate here is how much? 5%, and I should make it fixed. Like a fixed curve, and make it absolute. 1 minute. I'm using a different device, so not familiar with all the keys, right? Should be this one, and then there's no power here, and I can't see anything. Okay, 1 plus here is equal B19 plus 1 plus 1. Take everything equal January sales multiplied this 1 plus sales dot this one and make it constant by pressing F4 deposit and enter. Right. So we'll apply here the growth rate is deleted. So 0.5. Now it works. Right. So accordingly, you can copy it to other months. So it will clearly and correctly calculate the future month sales subject to 5% growth. And all these figures can be copied to rest of the bar. Right. So accordingly, this is the sale profit forecast. If you want to incorporate December, you can incorporate December as well. It's just a matter of copying it to other column. Right? Okay. Right. So accordingly, if you correctly develop this one, so you can see finally we got the same result. Both students who shared this. I think Akila, is this correct? My power battery is running low, still there's no power, but stay connected, right? I think in very soon it will be shut down. My machine open then power output like. Okay. So Akila, wage answer ටික okay නේද මේක?
Sir, එතන චූටි difference එකක් තියෙනවා sir මේ
Okay නේද?
net profit එක sir මගේ එන්නේ 36,000 sir.
කොතනකද? කීවෙනි එකද?
ඒ කියන්නේ net profit එක sir වෙනස් වෙනවා.
මොන අවුරුද්දේද? first yearද? first month එකේද?
දිගටම sir. ඒ කියන්නේ
එහෙනම් අපේ inputs හරිද? ඔයාගේ inputs correct compile කරන්න මගෙත් එක්ක. inputs හරිද? 150ද?
අනේ sir මගේ වැරද්ද මම මේ
කමල කරන්න වැරදි නෑ. ඒ කියන්නේ input එක වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන් නේ. ඔයා දැන් input එක කීයද කියන්නේ? මේ figures ඕකේද ඔයාගේ? 150ද?
ඔව් sir මේ ඒක හරි sir මේ කියන්නේ මම මේ cost of sales 50% දාලා තිබ්බේ.
කමල කරන්න අපි 50% දාලා බලමු. 50% දැම්මම හරියනවා නම් ඕකේ. අපිට අවශ්‍ය model එක right? ඔය figures තරමද ගන්න. දැන් හත්ලා. දැන් match වෙනවා.
ඔව් sir දැන් හරි sir.
Okay, so 50%, 40%, 60%, those are very simple things, right? The important thing is, right, you should correctly develop your formulas. All these formulas should be correctly and carefully designed. Right? So accordingly, you can now see this is a model. Why? In the first student who shared her activity, and she gave us a very nice report. That's very good result, very good report. It was a very good report, but we don't consider, or we don't treat or consider it as an accounting model, right? It is not a model. It's just the report. She has delivered the intended final result or the report to the user. But we cannot consider it as a model, but a report, just a report. Anyway, she has done it well, right? So this is a model. Why do we consider this as a model? Because we can protect this output area, and we'll discuss them later. And we can allow the user to alter these figures as they wish and see how your forecast or the projection of profit forecast is going to be changed as and when you alter these figures. For example, what if sales growth drop to, let's say, 0.2%? You can see quickly, right? Manipulate all the result and show the profit forecast. What if okay, so what if cost of sales increase due to this economic crisis and import the currency devaluation? What if cost of growth, sorry, cost of sale increase from 50% to 60%, also maybe 80%? Right, if it's 80% decrease loss, let's say 60%. Okay, power came, right? So we are lucky. Okay. So you can see it all adjusted quickly, right? So at the same time, if you do your model very correctly, so once you delete your input area, your model should have the result like this. Okay. So I'll make it undo. Right. So this is a kind of a solution. This is a kind of a solution. So don't think this is the ultimate, the best model, right? We just asked you to prepare profit forecast or profit projection, and we didn't ask you to prepare a model. But you can see this forecast can be easily prepared with the simple, as a simple accounting model. So we can apply some different tools here in front of these figures, so that, right, by clicking simply by, you can see Lama here, you have a scroll bar. Here you have a scroll bar. You can click, move it. Like here, likewise here, you can apply some scroll bars. You can apply spin buttons so that you can easily change these figures. So manager or whatever the executive manager, if he wishes to have different result, how the result of the profit is going to be changed as a result of varying of these variables, we can quickly manipulate the result. If you are going to do it manually, it is not possible. And if you do it some other ways and give the result as a sheet, standalone sheet, then your manager is not in a position to manipulate. So this can be considered as a very basic model, and the user can repetitively you can, or user can apply this model, manipulate calculation. Okay, so we can consider this as a simple model, and we can consider this as a solution. At the same time, right, you can have different other modification to this model. May model like a modifier. You see, apply different colors, or you can apply different graphs for this. For example, you can apply some graph for the sales, how sales is growing over the months. That is different things, right? So you can apply some modifications and some value adding features to this model. But at the examination, you are not supposed to do big changes, because marks are allocated for the required things. But anyway, you have some, to certain extent, the freedom to do some attractive things to meet the information need of the intended use. Okay. Any question on this, Laman? Hari ගැටලු කියවන්න ළමයි මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් මම හිතනවා නැති ඇති කියලා, right? Okay, so then we'll move on to today's topic, spreadsheet model designing principles. Okay, so there are some principles you need to consider when developing accounting models. First one, spreadsheet model planning. So discuss in detail what is meant by model planning. Then formula flexibility, formula efficiency, then careful use of range names, then model blocks or layouts, then finally auditing spreadsheet models and how to protect your models. Okay, so these are the basic principles you need to be aware of when developing accounting or finance models, right? So we won't be able to discuss all the principles today. So we'll try our best to discuss them up to the fifth one. Okay. Right. First one, spreadsheet model plan. Now, we discussed at the beginning, accounting model is not sophisticated like accounting information system, because in an accounting information system, it will provide you total solution for your accounting issues. It will prepare balance sheet, income statement, cash flows for the whole organization or the segment wise or branch wise. It will prepare or develop a lot of accounting reports in an accounting information system. Spreadsheet model is a kind of particular tool that will develop or generate a solution for a particular accounting issue, a particular requirement. Once you develop a particular model, it will deliver or generate a report that would provide some useful information to the intended user. So accordingly, let's assume you are developing a model that is to be used by someone else. So accordingly, that means the model you develop should be capable of providing or generating information that is required by the intended user. So accordingly, the model you develop should be carefully designed, carefully planned, right? Because in the previous example, in a very simple scenario, we identify there are some inputs which are considered for your model. There are some inputs which are included in calculations and formulations or formulas to generate the intended information. So accordingly, you need to plan your model well by discussing with the relevant parties. For example, if you are assigned right to develop if you assign this model development task by your manager or your immediate manager or supervisor to develop a particular model, then you need to understand the context in which this model is going to be applied. So what are the required data? What are the available sources of information? Sorry. What are the data you are going to apply, include in this model? Who are the users? Whether they have the required computerized or accounting knowledge. So you need to be aware of these basic surroundings, basic facts, right? Then you can develop your model well. So according to careful and formal planning of a spreadsheet model prior to implementing or developing your model, it helps improve the likelihood of the spreadsheet model meeting the needs of its users. So that's what I simply explained. In order to effectively plan the model builder needs to ask who will use the spreadsheet model. Right? So that means you need to basically gather information about the context in which the model is developed. Who are the users? What are the available data? Right? So, what were the assumptions you considered when generating this data, right? So purpose of this model, right? So accordingly, you can consider all this information and accordingly plan your model. අපි මුලින්ම එක පාට මොඩල් develop කරන්න යන්නේ. Now for example, right, when it comes to considering the previous example, if the model if the supervisor or the one who assign this task to you, let's say if they wants to use this model to prepare the forecast or these projections in a dynamic scenarios, and when right and management wants this model variables to change as they wish, then you can, right, you need to understand that requirement. That means, right, so these are the available information, these are the available right, for available data, available forecasted information. But if you know the management is going to change this variable in the future, right, then you can think of adding some tools so that you can easily alter these variables, right? Right, there are some concepts we are going to discuss later. For example, we can apply some right buttons like we are going to button but right. So accordingly, I let me to apply some this button, some of this button current value. For minimum value, let's say 1. Let's say maximum value, let's say 20. Incremental changes and cell link. I'll do cell link like this and enter. Okay. Right, and I say this equal this divided by. Don't worry about this. That I'm not teaching. Just apply some techniques that we'll discuss later. Okay, and I do some cunning work to hide this. Let's say apply white color, so it's no longer visible. Right. So am I knowing the fact that this managers wants this model to manipulate certain variables and to observe what happens to the profit, we can incorporate tools like this so that user can easily manipulate. You can see easily manipulate, easily alter the figures, right? So you can see now this model is advanced. I mean, the very user friendly compared to previous one. I think that's a mistake, right? I think there's a problem. So don't worry about. So accordingly, you can improve, enhance your model by incorporating some tools and techniques like this. Okay. So accordingly, for you to improve the model like this, you need to identify the user's requirements. So user requirements, you need to understand, right? So accordingly, if you get the holistic idea, proper understanding about the model, its requirement, available information, then okay, right, there's a requirement. One is to ask how to explain how to use that button again. So we will discuss that particular application in our third session. So don't worry, right? I just wanted to show you how you can improve this button. So this model by incorporating some different techniques. For you to incorporate, improve, enhance this model. So don't worry about these buttons. That will be discussed under session 3. Okay, so don't worry. I'm not going to discuss because there are some things to do before that. For example, most of your Excel package, this developer tab may not be appeared there. So don't worry, right? So we'll discuss it in the second, third one. Okay, yeah, don't worry. Second, Lamai, for you to improve your model like this, you need to have an understanding about the context it is going to be used, about their skills, right? Their intended use of this model. Then you can prepare a very nice model. Okay, right. So accordingly, first thing you need to plan your model right beforehand. මුලින්ම plan කළවම model design එක පටන් ගන්න. ඒක ඇත්තටම ළමයි model එකක් develop කරනවා කියන්නේ something like a small computer like program. Small program. පොඩි computer programming එකක් කරන්නේ. inputs තියෙනවා, process එකක් තියෙනවා, output එකක්. ඒ නිසා model development කරද්දී අපි time ගන්නවා. දැන් විභාගෙදී පැය දෙකයි දෙන්නේ final exam. පැය දෙක ඇතුළත ඔයාලා model develop කරන්න. හැබැයි අපි ඔයාලට කිසියම් support එකක්. ඒ support එක තමයි model එකේ බොහෝ විට layout එක අපි හදලා දෙන්නේ. එතකොට ඇත්තෙන්ම ඔයාලට පුළුවන් මේ දීලා තියෙන layout එකකින් ඔයාලට ඒ layout එක තුල ඔයාලට තියෙන formula develop කරන්න තමයි බොහොම අවස්ථාවල right. හැබැයි real life එකේදී manager කෙනෙක් කිව්වොත් මට මෙන්න මෙහෙම දෙයක් ගන්න ඕනේ Excel එකකින් මේක කරලා දෙන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා අහුවොත් ඔයාලා value ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඔයාලට එවැනි දෙයක් Excel වලින් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද බැරි. ඊට පස්සේ හැබැයි එකපාරට අපි develop කරන්නේ අපි අහනවා මොන වගේද වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ right. What is the requirement, what types of reports you want to generate, right? From where these right whether the relevant data is available, right? How to gather data. As the model developer, you are not responsible, right? Finding data. The intended user of the console, the right company should give you the relevant data, right? Then you can have a discussion with them. What are the available data? How this information, right? The result is going to be affected. So what are the variables that affect your business, sales, cost of sale, your expenses? You need to have a long discussion and identify as much as possible all the possible variables and the data relevant for your model. Then plan. Then decide how it should be what should be the format of your model. What sort of techniques we can use to generate information. Is it a graph or bar chart or pie chart or just a table format? It's up to you to decide. Everything should be decided right beforehand under planning stage. So you know planning is important. If right in any activity, right? It helps you to do the activity very well, right? So importance of proper model design plan, right? Model design planning will importance tamai. So improve the chance that model will meet the user's requirement. Yes, if you plan your model well, right? You can the chance the model will meet the user's requirement is very high. Before, so you planned it well, you understood the user's requirement, everything very well, right? Whether the user wants to manipulate the data in the future, so you understand, right? Then you can deliver very good model. Then reduce the risk either existing or potential errors. So model develop there's a risk that model might work correctly under the current scenario, but when it comes to change the scenario, sometimes model might not respond. Potential errors in the pulwa. Existing errors in the pulwa. Existing errors are potential errors in errors what? Hakita adu wenwa kallatu api manawa plan karla api model එක develop කරනවා. So accordingly, proper model planning and design minimize the risk of existing and potential errors. Then it improve model flexibility. Model flexibility can improve වෙනවා. So that you can easily manipulate. model එකේ flexibility එක දැන් අර first student ගේ model එකක් නෙවෙයි ඇත්තටම එතන කිසිම flexibility එකක් නැහැ. හැබැයි second student ගේ model එක very flexible, you can alter. Not perfectly flexible, right? But it's compared to the first student's report, the second student's one very flexible because he nicely and appropriately applied the formulas and applied knowingly or unknowingly, he has applied some basic model design principles. Okay. Then improve the auditability. අපිට model එක develop කරාට පස්සේ ළමයි model එක audit කරන්න පුළුවන්, check කරන්න පුළුවන් model එකේ යම් errors තියෙනවාද කියලා. right? ඒක අපි පස්සේ කතා කරමු. Then improve the efficiency of the computer resource usage, hardware, software. ඒතර අපි වැඩ කරද්දී කල්ලාතුව plan කරලා කරද්දී අපේ time එක අපේ resources plan කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකෙදි අපි practically වැඩ කරද්දී කල්ලාතුව හොඳ අවබෝධයක් ගන්න අපි model එක ගැන, user ගේ requirement එක ගැන, context එක ගැන, you can efficiently use your resources. So these are some of the advantages of model planning or model design. In general, සාමාන්‍ය planning වල advantages, right? Then second principle. Second principle, formula flexibility. Okay. Formula flexibility simply requires that no numbers be directly taken into formula. This is very, very important. Right? So never type any figures inside the formula. Formulas ඇතුලේ අපි figures type කරන්නේ නැහැ. Right? So we never type figures inside the formula. So can you remember when we develop this model? We never type. I didn't type any value inside this report. මේ report එක ඇතුලේ කිසිම ස්ථානයක මම type කළේ නැහැ figures. මේ හැම දෙයක්ම අරන් තියෙන්නේ formulas වලින් සහ input area එකකින් reference දීලා. මේ කිසිම තැනක type කරේ නැහැ. දැන් උදාහරණයක් කියලා මට ඕන නම් මෙතන තිබුණා මොකද්ද? නිකම්ම 150,000 type කරා. හරි. type කරලා enter කරනවා. ඒත් හරි. මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ වෙන්නේ management එකට මේ 150,000 sales level එක change කරන්න ගියොත් එක 140,000 වලට මොකද වෙන්නේ? මේ model එක respond කරන්නේ නැහැ. Right? So accordingly, we never type any values directly inside the form. අපි formulas කිසිම එකක type කරන්නේ නැහැ. එකම එක exception එකක් තිබුණා අපේ discussion. මොකද exception? ඒ තමයි so exception was now so right. So our growth was 5%. Exemption එක තමයි මෙන්න මෙතන when it comes to apply the growth rate, right, inside the formula we right type 1. මේ හැම දෙයක්ම අපි ගත්තේ reference වලින් B9 මේ formula එකේ B9 කියන reference එකක් තියෙනවා. No problem, there's no type. This B3 is again cell reference, but 1 we type. So that is a very unique case. මේ වගේ අවස්ථාවකදී විතරක් අපිට type කරන්න පුළුවන්. මේ growth rate එක වගේ දාද්දී අපි මෙවැනි type කරනවාට අපි කියනවා hard coding කියලා. formula එකේ ඇතුලේ අපි figures type කරන්න හැබැයි මේක ඇවිල්ලා exception එකක්. exceptional case එකක්. This is what we call exceptional scenario. Right? So no other scenarios we are right typing figures inside the formulas. මේ කිසිම තැනක type කරපුවා නෙවෙයි තියෙන්නේ formulas වලින් අපි reference දීලා ගත්තේ. Okay? So accordingly it is very important. මේ result ගන්න පුළුවන් right? මතක් තියාගන්න again I emphasize using your Excel knowledge you can get the same result, same answer. Right? But violating model design principle. එතකොට අපි accounting modeling වලදී අපි apply කරා අපි බලන්නේ ඔයාලා model design principles වලට අනුකූලව හරියට formulas ලියලා තියෙනවා ඒකත් බලන්න right ඒ නිසා මේ කියන principles ඉතාල වැදගත් නැත්නම් උත්තර ගන්න පුළුවන් විවිධ ක්‍රම වල 2 2 4 කියන එක ගන්න පුළුවන් විවිධ ක්‍රම okay but you need to be aware of model design principles and make sure you comply with the model design principles. Okay. So accordingly, formula flexibility simply requires that no numbers be directly taken into formula. Don't take right numbers directly to the formula. Now think, Lamai, in case if you want to apply a number for a formula, let's say here you want to write tax, for example. Let's say operating profit. Operating expenses is said to be 20% on sales. Sales only 20%. Again, operating expense is going to be a variable cost. It varies according to sales, let's say, like sales commission. Right? This operating expenses is given is 20%. So we can simply take this same 30,000 like this. අපිට මේ 30,000 ගන්න පුළුවන් ළමයෙකුට. Okay, 30,000 equal sales multiply just 30%. Like you can see I'm typing now. Then mama typing කරා. It is wrong. Answer is correct. So you can make it minus bigger by incorporating minus sign. So you can see operating expenses 30%, not it is not 30%, it's 20%. So you can see cost of sale is 50% people 50% right? Okay. Then operating expense is 30%. Now this is wrong because if you apply this hard code in here, you have typed it. මේ වගේ ටයිප් කරපුවා අපි කියන hard code එක අපි ටයිප් කරපුවම වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද අපේ ෆෝමියුලා එකේ flexibility එක නැති වෙනවා අපේ model එකේ flexibility එක නැති වෙනවා flexibility නැතිලා කියන්නේ in case management wants to see what if අර what if analysis කියන්නේ scenario analysis sensitivity analysis what if analysis that means what if in case operating expense increase from 20% to 25%. What if? You can see this doesn't like it is not responding. Make a respond kala nahi. Right? May what respond kala dila because there are the relative right. So accordingly, it's not responding. So accordingly, you should never type values inside the formula. So accordingly, if you want to apply any value inside the formula, like in here in the 20%. If you want to apply any value inside the formula, what you have to do, right? Take that value to the input area. Put the value inside the input area and give the reference from the input, right? Input area. So accordingly, we want to apply 20%. So we are not going to type. Instead, that variable is included under input area and give the reference without typing like this. Then it is like this. So accordingly, this also given value, right? So accordingly, the formula flexibility principle requires you to not to take any numbers directly to your formula. So number our side now. Take that number to your input area and give the reference from that particular cell or range of cells. Right. So accordingly, whenever you alter your input area, your output area or your report is going to respond by changing those results. Then formula that require the use of this number or data values should reference the input area set. Yes, that's what I explained. Formula flexibility helps to both scenario analysis and sensitivity analysis. Yes, if you don't maintain the flexibility, you can never apply what? Scenario analysis, sensitivity analysis, what if analysis වගේ දේවල් analysis කරන්න බැරි වෙන model එකකින් if you don't maintain the flexibility. ඒ කියන්නේ stand alone report එකක් නම් ගන්න ඕනේ. Then no problem, you can apply whatever the right way you can develop your formulas and you can extract the result and you can get the printout and give it to the intended user. That for that case, as far as the final figures are concerned, your report may be correct, but if your management or the supervisor or your superior is going to apply your model by manipulating the variables, your model will not respond or will not give the correct result, right? Okay. So here you can see, whilst it is generally accepted that critical data values should not be hard-coded. Again, critical values api type කරන්න formula. General practice mother don't type values inside the formula. That is the basic principle. Don't type values inside the formula. Instead, give it from the reference. But there may be some instances where this particular typing can be accepted or will not harm to your flexibility. Take an example of the growth scenario. Growth rate can be applied as 1 plus growth rate. But here the growth rate should be taken from the reference input area. Here you can hard code. Formula ke ඇතුලේ type කරන්න පුළුවන් 1 එක growth rate එක ගැනීමේදී එතන ඒ type කිරිල්ල ඔයාලගේ formula වල flexibility එකට බලපාන්නේ නැහැ. So accordingly, in a very rare circumstances like this, your hard coding or typing inside the formulas will not compromise your formula flexibility. For most of other cases, it is highly recommended and it is advised, don't type inside the form. Don't type any values inside the formulas because it will lose your flexibility. Right. Third principle, formula efficiency. Efficient. Flexibility කියන්නේ ඔයාලගේ models වල නම්‍යශීලී. Here the efficient. Efficiency, in general efficiency means what? Efficiency, I mean particular techniques or process, if it is efficient, it will reduce your resource, input reduce, resource reduce, time, energy, cost, everything is supposed to decrease, reduce. So that is the efficient approach, efficient concept meaning. Second, under accounting model development, your model is considered as efficient, right? If your model shows these characteristics. Number one, it involves constructing formula, right? So that means simply there are two aspects of formula efficiency. Number one, it involves constructing formulas such a way as to allow those formulas to be copied to other cells in the model. Okay. So efficiency means the formula efficiency means the formula you write inside your model should be capable of easily copying to the rest of the part of the model as you wish. Right? That means here you can see it took some time for us to develop these formulas. Here there's a formula, just simply got by referring it here. Then cost of sale, again simple formula. How you develop? Equal minus to make it minus bigger. This multiplied cost of sale percentage. Right. Like this. So this is a formula. This is a formula. This is a formula. Here, this is also a formula. This plus this. So you can say another way. Sum, right? You can do it like this as well. Right? Sum. Then operating expense. Again, there's a formula. Sum shortcut, right? Okay. Then operating expense. Again, there's a formula. Right? So when you develop this formula, can you remember here? I just applied by right. I just applied here. Just applied. Show this cell like this. I didn't apply any modification. But when it comes to compute the cost of sale, I didn't explain you earlier. How did I compute cost of sale? I computed cost of sale like this. I first assign the minus value to convert it into a minus figure. Cost of sale should be 50% of sales. So sales, there are different ways of getting, but if you want to copy it to the rest of the area, I need to refer it to this sales here. This multiply. If I just show the cost of sale figure like this and enter, it is correct. Sales 150, cost of sales 75,000. Gross profit accordingly, balance 50%, 75,000. Operating expense, everything's correct. But if I computed gross profit like this, if I compute the cost of sales like this, by multiplying this by B4, cost of sales can sales times cost of sale percentage. Again, cost of sales equal sales B minus B2, B9 times B4. And if I am going to copy to other parts, you can see it doesn't work. Right? Reason, I have not given appropriate cell reference, because when I drag it to when I am going to copy these formulas to rest of the months, this particular cost of sale figure is going to be change. So accordingly, we'll discuss it later, right? So accordingly, when I developed this model at the beginning, I didn't explain you, right, about the way of giving cell reference. Then cell reference we need to take cost of sales, we need to derive cost of sale from the sales value, because sales given, cost of sale is given as a percentage of sales. If it's not directly mentioned, right? But it's 50% on sales. So accordingly, cost of sale is equal sales multiplied cost of sale percentage. I show this particular sale and I know this particular cost of is going to be copied along this row, so that if you are going to drag this cell is going to be changed if you leave it as a relative sales. A relative cell, so without explaining anything, I just apply F4 key and make it constant by putting dollar marks. Ek ma khalin explain kare na hai, api then right. So accordingly, my formula efficiency, it has two concepts. Number one, formula efficiency means the formula you develop should be capable of easily copying and dragging to other part of the model. Formula flexible efficiency concept make a concept right. මේ editing mode එකේ තියාන්නේ presentation mode එකේ නෙවෙයි, right? So that I can simply change it. Okay, so first thing, formula efficiency means you should develop your formulas in a such a way that can be easily copied to the other areas of the model if it is needed. Second concept simply second involves constructing formulas in a such a way that the model execute quickly, yet at the same time it is relatively easy to understand and modify. Right, I will explain it again later. When it comes to get a particular result, same result can be generated using different formulas. Right? If you have different types of formulas to generate same result, you better apply the formula that can be easily understood and easily executed by the model. කිසියම් result එකක් ගන්න different formulas තියෙනවා නම් අපිට පුළුවන් we can apply the right very simplest formula so the user can easily understand. At the same time, it can be easily entered to the model, easily understood and easily modified. Then උදාහරණයකට ළමයි, let's say if you want to get present value interest factor annuity. ඒකට ළමයි අපිට තියෙන වෙනම ෆෝමියුලා එකක් නේ. එක රින් එකයට එක ධන R එක රින් එකයට එක ධන R එන එක බලය බෙදීම R. So that is the finance formula. 1 minus 1 over 1 plus R to the power n divided by R. That is the formula for present value interest factor annuity. The same can be applied when it comes to compute the lease installment. Or then finance කරලා තියෙනවා. Lease installment එක ගන්න පුළුවන් කෙලින්ම loan divided by the present value interest factor annuity. Loan amount එක right interest factor annuity can divide කරපු ගාම loan installment එක හම්බ වෙනවා. But we can if you are going to compute the loan installment, there are different other ways, right, of computing that loan installment, loan preparing loan repayment schedule. So accordingly, you better think of right formulas that can be easily incorporated to your model, that can be easily understood, easy to modify, easy to change. Then if you compute your loan installment by dividing the loan by the present value interest factor annuity, that is 1 minus 1 over 1 plus R to the power n divided by R. That is a complex formula. And so accordingly, think about these fundamental principles. Actually, as far as the model development is concerned, the very first point is very crucial, because most of the scenarios, your model may not work in certain areas or certain scenarios because of inappropriate cell referencing. Your inappropriate cell references will result formula inefficiency. Hence, we highlight කරපු point එක ඉතාම වැදගත්, right? Constructing formulas in such a way that allows those formulas to be copied to other cells, copy and drag to other cells in the model. So it will save your time and energy. Kapara develop කරන්න. කපත අදල් දැනගාම model එකට develop වෙනවා. එතකොට එවැනි ආකාරයක model එකට copy කරන්න හැකි වෙන පරිදි, drag කරන්න හැකි වෙන පරිදි තමයි අපි cells අපේ formulas develop කරන්න ඕනේ. Otherwise, you will be compelled to develop formulas again and again for similar scenarios under different parts of the model. එහෙම copy කරන්න පුළුවන් හැටියට develop කරේ නැත්නම් එකම formula එක විවිධ තැන්වල යලි develop කරන්න සිද්ධ වෙනවා. එතකොට ඒක අනිත් පැත්තෙන් formula flexibility කරත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. In the efficiency and flexibility both important. Right. Then අපි යමු කොහොමද මේ efficiency maintain කරන්න කියලා. How to maintain this formula efficiency. The type of cell references for formula flexibility and formula efficiency. Right. So according to my, if you want to maintain the formula flexibility and formula efficiency, the cell references, the type of cell references are very, very important. I'm sure you have already studied this concept for your IT, basic IT courses that you studied during degree part 1, information technology. Under information technology, you discuss Excel application. Definitely, you should have already discussed these concepts, right? So there are different types of cell reference. Right? The first one and the very basic one is relative cell reference. The second one is absolute cell reference. Third one is mixed cell reference. And the relative cell reference. So let's see what is happening under relative cell reference. Okay, let's take a simple example. Okay, so this is a simple example, right? So let's assume you are given this data set for a particular scenario, particular organization, right? Let's assume this information is given, right? For the month of January, it has given you incomes and all the expenses. Then you want to compute the profit. It's a very simple thing, right? Profit, you know, is the difference between incomes and expenses. So how we can compute the profit? For the month of January, we can say profit is equal. How we can get the answer? Profit is equal. Without giving any references, we can sometimes type. That's a very crazy approach, right? 1,585,000 minus 1,109,500. So this is the answer, right? This, right? You can see. Forget about the model design principle and basic Excel application. You have somehow taken the answer, right? Here we didn't apply any reference, no references at all. අපි කිසිම cell එකක් refer කරන්න නැතුව ගත්තේ. Cell දිහා බලාගෙන by looking at the cells, right? Simply apply the formula apply කරා. හරි නේද? 1,585,000, okay, minus 1,109,500, and it gave the answer. So here we didn't apply any formula. That is a very crazy approach, and we never think about this method, right? Even ordinary person with basic Excel skills never compute the answer like this. But still, it is a kind of method because it gives the answer, right? Under relative cell references, this is what we do, right? We say for the month of January, right? For the month of January, income is this much, right? As far as month of January is concerned, income is this month, minus as far as month of January is concerned, expenses are this much. We pay now. Reference income is from this, expenses from this, right? It's relative to January. It's relative to the, right? These sales values are relatives. Cell reference, same answer. But you can easily copy it to other areas. The main result when you copy this result to the rest of the part, since the formula apply the relative cells, මේ තියෙන්නේ D3 D3 cell එක D3 cell එකට නම් කවුද B3 minus C D4 යද්දී එයා හිතනවා D3 එකට D3 minus C3 නම් එයා හිතනවා D4 එකට it should be B4 minus C ඒ කියන්නේ relative ගන්න අපි copy කරන තැනට relate සාපේක්ෂ ගන්න අපි මේ කියන්නේ relative and absolute කියන concept එකේ සිංහල meaning is සාපේක්ෂ සහ නිරපේක්ෂ ඒක අපි දැන් මේ පාවිච්චි කරේ relative cell reference මේ කියන answering cell එකට relative තමයි මේ දෙන්න. answer cell එක වෙන තැනකට යද්දී එයා ඒ තැනට සාපේක්ෂව අනිත් දෙන හදාගන්නවා. right relative cell. So relative cell reference is very simple. No more modifications to the cell address. අපි ළමයි පස්සේ කතා කරන cell address කියන හැම cell එක Excel වල Excel formulas හැම විටම recognize කරන්නේ ඒ cell එකේ address. හැම cell එකකටම ළමයි නමක් තිබෙනවා. නමක්වත් කියන cell address එකක් තිබෙනවා. අපි කියමු නමක් කියලා. මේ cell එකේ for example here this cell has a particular name or address. අපි address එක පොඩ්ඩක් මතක් this particular cell has a name. Excel recognize this particular cell has G4. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ හැම cell එකකම address එකක් තියෙන නමක් තියෙනවා. ඒක හැම එකටම මේ name වෙන්නේ first it takes the column, letter and row number. හැම එකටම column, letter, row number. දැන් මේ cell එකේ නම මෙතන වටන මේ කියන්නේ name box කියලා කියන්නේ. මේ name box එකේ අපි අරන් යන හැම point එකකටම නම වැටෙනවා. මෙතන නම් මොකද්ද? J3. here name එක J3. right? So accordingly අපි cell reference දෙද්දී මේ දෙක relatively දෙන්න. right? accordingly මෙතන in this particular cell is a simple thing, right? I just want to explain. Right? Okay, profit equal as far as this answer is concerned, as far as D3 is concerned, right? D3 එකට සාපේක්ෂව right? D3 එකට නම් income how much? B3 or D3 expense is C3. Okay, අපි දුන්න relative D3 relative. එහෙම දුන්නාම මෙයා copy කරද්දී අපිට අවශ්‍ය දැන් D4 ගන්න. D4 ගනිද්දී අරයා අනිත් දින relatively වෙනස් කරගන්න. අරයට සමානුපාත වෙනස් කරගන්න. So that is what we call relative cell reference. So relative cell reference වලදී cell එකේ නාමයට කිසිදු modification එකක් දෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ G4 එකට කිසිදු modification එකක් නැහැ. මෙයා මොකද්ද? B3 and here C3 may formula ke B3 minus C3 no modification to the cell address or cell name cell address ekata kisidu modification ek ehemana ewa අපි සලකනවා relative cell reference ඉතින් ළමයි relative cell references අවශ්‍ය තැන් වල අපි reference එක දෙන්න ඕනේ relative ඒ කියන්නේ කිසිදු modification එකක් නැති that is relative cell reference. There's another method. It is called absolute cell reference. එතකොට මේ relative cell reference කියන්නේ as far as B15 cell is concerned, it is relative because no modification. But if you want to make this B15 cell absolute for any scenario, අනෙක් මේ cell columns rows මොනවා වෙනස් වුණත් මේ cell එක වෙනස් නොවි apply වෙන්න ඕන නම් අපි කියනවා ඒක යා absolute. යා නිරපේක්ෂයි. කාටවත් සාපේක්ෂ නැහැ. අනිත් අය වෙනස් වුණාට වෙනස් වෙන්නේ. එයා absolute value එක. So how you can convert a particular cell from relative to absolute? It is very simple. Simply by typing $mark in front of the column, letter and row number. එතකොට column එකේ letter එකට ඉස්සරහින් අපි $mark type enter කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම cell number එකට ඉදිරියෙන් අපි $mark enter කරන්න. dollar mark එක කොහොමද එන්න ගන්නේ? L shift එකයි dollar mark එක type කරපුවාම dollar mark ලැබෙනවා. ඊට අමතරව පුළුවන් මම හිතන්නේ හොඳම flexible method අපිට හරිම efficient method එක තමයි you can simply apply this dollar mark by pressing F4 button එක. ඔයාලගේ laptop එකේ desktop එකේ මුඩම button line එකක් තියෙන F1 F2 F3 F4 අපි you first show the cell, click on the relevant cell you want to make it absolute, then first click on the cell, then click F4, then it will convert into absolute mode. So dollar marks දෙකක් column එක ඉදිරියෙන් සහ row number එක ඉදිරියෙන් තිබේ. එතකොට ඒක absolute number එකක් වෙනවා. absolute වුණාම ඔයාලගේ formula එක drag කරද්දී a relative cell, relevant cell එක relative නෙවෙයි, that particular relevant cell won't be changed. It will be absolutely common to all the scenarios, right? So we'll see a scenario where we can apply this absolute cell reference. So this a particular simple scenario where you would apply absolute cell reference. Absolute cell reference. In our previous model, did we apply relative cell references? Here, gross profit, I think we applied relative cell reference. Relative cell reference in the this plus cost of sale, I'll convert this into minus, right? This plus this relative and make this minus. And we go make this minus also. Okay, right. So lamai here relative cell reference. Here mama gatta profit, gross profit කියන්නේ sales minus cost of sale. Sales minus plus that means sales minus cost of sale. You can see no modification. That means sale is relative. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙතන gross profit එකට for this gross profit, right? These are the relative sales. So that if I drag this to this particular cell, what happens? It will change. Then metal cell reference B9 and B10. මෙයා මෙතන drag කරපුවාම copy කරපුවාම මෙතන තියෙන්නේ C9 and C10. මෙයා මෙතෙන්ද copy කරපුවාම එතන තියෙන්නේ D9 and D10. අපි තියෙන්නේ D11 result එකට එයා ගන්නේ D9 and D10. Right? මෙතෙන් ආපුවාම එයා E9 and E10 change. Right? So accordingly, in this simple model that we discussed previously, we have applied relative cell reference. So make a develop කරati ළමයි ඒ idea කොළු තියෙන්නේ. හරි. දැන් උදාහරණයක් අපිට අවශ්‍ය නම් තිබුණා මේ answer එක ගන්න same answer can be taken by making this absolute cell. මේක absolute කරලා ගන්න තිබුණා. එනවා ඒ answer එක. මේකත් ඕන නම් මෙතෙන්දී මේකත් absolute කරන්න තිබුණා. Answer it, right? It will give the answer for this cell, but you can't drag it to other. එතකොට හැම විටම එකම profit. මේ හැදෙන ගියොත් හැම විටම එකම profit. ඒ absolute කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපි model එක design කරද්දී අර planning stage දැනගන්න ඕන කොහොමද formulas develop කරන්න ඕන. Right? මේක අපි හැම තැනම formulas අදුම ගානක් ලියලා අපි drag කරන තැන් වල අපි පුළුවන් තරම් drag කරන්න ඕන, copy කරන්න. Right? So that it will save your time, energy, cost and efforts. Okay, මම control and undo කරන්න. Right. So let's now see let's see how to apply this absolute cell record. So here you want to compute VAT. So you are given information or data about 4 different devices: desktops, laptops, printers, and projectors. So let's assume desktop price is 180, laptops 250, printers 60, projectors 120, and VAT rate is given. You know, nowadays VAT rate is 15%. So accordingly, you are required to compute the VAT subject to this VAT rate of 15%. You are required to compute the VAT amount of each product. Then price with VAT. So first task, you need to compute VAT applicable to each product. Okay. So how to apply it? You can see, right? Usually how you write ordinary person, how you write ordinary person, how he would compute the VAT amount. Usually VAT is equal price multiply VAT rate. Enter. Right? Then what, right? What if you are going to drag it to other? What will happen? You know, for this cell, we said that means D20 වලට අපි කියවා VAT rate එක VAT එන්නේ කොහොමද? Price times this VAT rate. හැබැයි දුන්නේ relative. මේ ගණන් තියෙන බලන්න දෙකම relative. D20 වල තියෙන මේ result එකට අපි දීලා තිනවා ඒ result එක ගන්න කියනවා C20 and B18 මෙතන. මෙයා පාත drag කරොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? D20 නම් D21 වලට එකක් පාතට ඇති relative නිසා formula එකේ හැම දෙයක්ම එකක් පාතට යනවා. ඒතර මේකේ පාතට ගියාම මොකද වෙන්නේ? 250 වුණා. මේකත් පාතට ඇති. එතකොට පිළිදෙයක් නැහැ. ඒ නිසා මේක වැඩ කරන්නේ නැති වෙයි. ඒවනේ වැඩ කරන්නේ ඇයි? මෙතනින් පාතර අපි දුන්නේ relative cells පාතර අපි drag කරද්දී මේ formula එකේ මේ සියලුම මේ cell දෙක relatively පාතර ගන්න. මේකෙන් අද්දි numbers තියෙනවා මේකෙන් අද්දි තියෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? right numerical values නැහැ. එතකොට මෙතන මේ error message එක එනවා. හරි? ඒ නිසා in a scenario like this you need to apply absolute cell reference. It means you know that value should be equal the relevant this particular desktop the product price, and I know I want to drag this down so that for the next one product price should not be 180. So we are not going to fix this. So we are not going to make it absolute. Product price එක අපි relative තියනවා. අයියේ පාත drag කරද්දී product එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. price එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. So we want to keep this product price a relative. Say, right? Multiply VAT rate. This VAT rate should be common and should be relevant for all the products, and it's not going to be changed. It's always fixed. In අපි කියන cell එක fix කරනවා. or අනිකුත් සියලුම scenarios වලට මේ cell එක absolute කරනවා වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ cell එක fix කරනවා change කරන්නේ නැහැ. cell එක freeze කරනවා fix කරනවා absolute කරනවා. කොහොමද අපි දන්නවා absolute කරන්න හැටි. ඒ type cell එක දෙන්න කොහොමද absolute කරන්නේ? Show the cell you want to fix it, then you can click on F4 button. F4 button and click කරපුවා automatically ආ dollar marks එක දාගන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔයාලට type කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ cell එක පෙන්නන්න. ඊට පස්සේ B අකුර ඉස්සරහින් shift එකත් එක්ක dollar key එක 4 කීයක බලන්න. ඊට පස්සේ row number එක කියන්නේ 1ට නෙවෙයි 1ට මුලට right. B letter එකයි number එකට අතරට ආපහු shift එකත් එක්ක 4 වෙනි නම් මේ ඩොලර් මාක් එකේ තියෙනවා ඒක ප්‍රෙස් කරන්න. එතකොට ඒ ෆික්ස් වෙනවා. දැන් එන්ටර් කරන්න. 27000 ඔව් දන්නවා 180 වෙන් 10ක් 18යි 5ක් 9යි 9යි 18යි 27000. Now you can drag it to other parts. You can see it correctly compute your VAT. Right? So you can see for this cell VAT value is equal C20 times VAT එක fix කරනවා. C20 relative තියෙන. අපි දැක්කද මොකද වෙන්නේ මෙතෙන්දී C20 එකක් පාතර යද්දී ආන්සර් එකක් පාතර යද්දී එයාගේ variable එකත් එකක් පාතර මොකක්ද උනේ C20 එක C21 yes that is correct because we are computing VAT for laptop, so it takes laptop price now, but VAT rate is constant. Okay, that is one application of absolute cell reference. In our previous module, we applied absolute cell reference for in different scenarios. For example, when it comes to compute cost of sale, you can see sales times cost of sale percentage. It appears in absolute cell reference cost of sale. What අපි මේ පැත්තට drag කරද්දී මෙයා තිබුණා නම් relative කරලා මෙයා මේ පැත්තට drag කරද්දී cost of sales figures මේ අතර right මේ row එකේ හොයාගෙන යනවා then ඒ වගේ තියෙන zeros. So accordingly we want to make it constant. ඒ වගේම අනිත් තැන්වලත් අපි තවත් කීපයකම අපි දාලා ඇති fix කරලා ඇති right tax rate එකේම මම හිතන්නේ fix කරලා ඇති. Tax this time B14 C14 I think tax එකේ අවුලක් තියෙනවා right tax is equal sorry undo tax is of this times okay 20% but this equal this minus profit before tax multiplied this okay correct right now it's correct. Yes. Right. So accordingly, without discussing these relative cells, absolute cell references, we apply this. I applied in the previous activity, right? Okay. So accordingly, here again, this is an example. One minute. Yeah. So this is an example where you can, or scenario where you can apply absolute cell reference. Now you want to compute price with VAT. So now you can apply relative cell reference because price with VAT is equal price before the VAT plus VAT. So accordingly, you can say this plus this. No need to apply absolute cell references. You can compute price with that like this, applying relative cell references, and you can apply it like this. Okay, right. Then there's another method. Another cell reference method that is mixed cell reference. Mixed cell reference. ඒ කියන්නේ අර බලන්න under relative cell references, no dollar mark, no dollar marks, no modification. And absolute cell references, $2 marks. Dollar marks, they got here. There are $2 marks. In front of column letter, $1 mark. row number $1. column letter එකට dollar marks තියෙනවා. row number එකට dollar marks තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ හරහට වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඉහළට පහළට වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඇයි column එක fix dollar marks දැම්මම column එක fix වෙනවා. කාර්ද letter එක represents column. Number represents row. If you apply dollar marks to the column, ඔයාලගේ cell එක හරහට ගමන් කරන්නේ. Right? If you apply dollar marks for a particular row, ඔයාලගේ cell එක ඉහළ පහළ ගමන් කරන්නේ. Mixed cell reference එකේදී වෙන්නේ you fix either column or you fix either row. ඒ දෙකෙන් එකක් පමණක් fix කරනවා නම් අපි කියනවා mixed cell reference. relative එකේදී එකක් කිසිදු modification එකක් නැහැ. both column and row, right? No modification. And absolute cell reference, both column and row is fixed by applying dollar marks in front of both letter and the number. And the mixed cell reference, you fix either column or row only. එක්කෝ column එක fix කරනවා හැබැයි row එක relative. Or column right keep relative and row keeps fixed. මේක ළමයි සමහර අවස්ථාවලදී අතිශය වැදගත් වෙනවා. මම හිතනවා ඔයාලා එතරම් පාවිච්චි කරන්න නැතුව ඇති. හැබැයි මේක නොදැන හිටියොත් සමහර scenarios ගොඩ දාන්න අමාරුයි. හැබැයි there are alternative ways, right? Alternative ways වලින් ගොඩ දාන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි this is a very important application of cell references. Like most of the cases you apply relative cell references, and at the same time in models you must apply absolute cell references as well, depending on the nature of your inputs and their relationships. Then finally, at the same time, some time you need to apply absolute cell references. We'll consider another example for this absolute cell reference. Okay, sorry, mixed cell reference, right? අපි දැන් mixed cell reference එකක් ගැන කතා. මෙන්න scenario. So don't worry about how, right, what is the real nature of the scenario. I just want you to fill this table, right? You can value well, right? If you merely look at this table, it reflects these particular number values represents, right, number of units sold, right? May values වලින් පෙන්නන්නේ number of units sold. Meaning here these values represents the price for which each units were sold. එනිතම මේ තියෙන price, right? No need to understand that real scenario. My requirement, forget about the heading, forget about the price and the units. I just ask you to fill this table by multiplying these numbers appeared under this brown colored cells by the corresponding blue colored cell. May come here, you need to put the right value by multiplying 1000 with 1. Here you should get the value by multiplying 1000 with 2. Here 1000 with 3. Here 1000 with 4. Here 1000 with 1, like that, right? Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes, right? You just open an Excel sheet and take some figures like this: 1000, 2000, 4000, whatever, right? 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000. Here 1, 2, 3, or 7, 5, 8, 6, or whatever the numbers, right? And show me how you could get the answer, right? So I'll give you 5 minutes. It's not a big task, right? You can do this. You need to apply the concept of cell references. Now, just fill this. Right. So according now it is 8:50. So I'll give you to show your answer by 8:55. Okay. Okay. Now, could you please share your answer? Can anyone volunteer to show the answer? Any student? Akila, are you there? Yes, I think Akila is, you are there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Akila, can you show your answer result?
Sure, sir.
1 minute.
So I hope
Okay.
my screen is visible, sir.
Yes, yeah, it's visible. Just show your click on that 1,000. Yes, correct, right? I think you have applied correctly the mixed cell references without using the, like if you don't apply this mixed cell reference, right, it will waste your time, effort, and energy, right? This is a very simple table, right? Think about the table is a very, very big one, complex one. Then it would be a headache to develop these formulas again and again. Right. Okay. Akila, just delete the all the answer parts and develop the formulas again. පොඩ්ඩක් අකිල ඉන්ක්‍රීස් කරන්න වගේ මේ size එක මේ zoom කරන්න කියලා. වමන ගන්න right. තා පොඩ උඩ දාන්න. Okay, right. Now I'll explain කරන්න කොහොමද කරන්නේ කියලා. Yes, first.
So,
So how you decide which mix modeling, which mix mode is going to be applied? I mean, for this as far as this particular
yes, sir.
prices
So
and quantity is concerned, how you
yes, sir.
decide whether
Yes,
to
sir.
column to be fixed or row to be fixed? How to decide correct?
So when we are moving down, sir, so then
You need
we
to come to
cannot.
that place first.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So when we are, so for example, like when we are dragging down like this, so we have
Yeah.
to, so the row numbers has to be flexible, so it has to freely move downwards, so we cannot lock it.
Yes.
So
And that means row should be flexible, column should be constant only for this one, for these figures.
yes, sir.
Right? That means this quantity values, you can see for quantity values, they are appearing right in the same column, different rows. So accordingly, if you are going to drag this, whatever the formula you develop here, if you are going to drag, you want to make sure this rows going to be changed, but columns going to be fixed. So accordingly, in your formula, right, for this quantity value, a column should be fixed, but row should leave it relative. Now, when it comes multiplied by price, now as far as price is concerned, you can see prices appeared in the same row, but different columns. Column make a change in our row එක same. So accordingly, when you for you to get the result product, you need to multiply the quantity with the price. So quantity cell is this one. They are column fixing multiplied. Price is here. For the price, you need to row fixing, column flexible. Right. Then type of Akila.
Okay, sir.
Simply equal. Now Oh, now he first type price. Okay, then pricing make a diagram. Time than ඕනේ මුලින්ම මේ කරන pricing එක අරගෙන එයාගේ result එක දෙන්න මොකද්ද? No, it is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong. Because price එකේදී you can see price එකේදී same row fix column flexible. ඒතර අපි dollar mark දාන්නේ row එකට. row එක fix කරනවා. row same dollar right column change. Now multiplied quantity. There you can see same row. Sorry, same column, different rows. So column එක fix කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ A column එක fix කරනවා. හැබැයි rows ටික relative තියෙනවා. Then now just type enter. Okay, that's it. Then ඔයාලා ඕන පැත්තට copy කරන්න. Good. Then right, correct, right? It's good. At the same time, then අකිල ගත්ත යන අපෝ first මේකට අකිල type කරන ගත්තේ price වැඩි කිරීම quantity. ඒ වගේම තමයි if you want you can take quantity type price, right? The don't think right you should first take price then multiply it by the quantity. Akila just took price then multiplied by the quantity. Or you can take quantity multiplied by the price, same thing, right? Akila එහෙමත් කරමු. අපි විවිධ students ලා ඉන්නවනේ I delete that.
Sure, sir.
ඔයාලා දන්නා දෙවලක් පහක් 10යි පස්වලක් දෙකක් 10යි. නමුත් සමහරට මම හිතනවා මේ fixing part එකේ අවුල් ඇති කියලා අපව back කියලා. right. අපි ගමු මුලින් ඔන්න quantity ගත්තා. දැන් quantity එක දැන් අපි decide කරනවා quantity කවුද වෙනස් වෙන්නේ. column එක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. column එක fix same column. right. අයට අපි dollar mark දානවා. අනිත් එක relative තියෙනවා. multiply price එක ගන්න. price එක තියෙන්නේ same row different columns. columns කීයක් තියෙනවා? B C D E columns. එනිසා මොකද්ද columns relative තියෙනවා. අපි row fix කරනවා. ඉතින් මතක තබන්න fix කරන එක තමයි anchor එක දාන්නේ. හරි? anchor එක නෙවෙයි ඒක හරි. මගේ ඔළුවේ තියෙන anchor එකක්. එයා fix කරන්නේ dollar mark එක දාන්න. ඒ නිසා relative තියෙන එක ගන්න මුකුත් කරදර කරා. right? Okay. Now enter and copy to other parts. දැන් මෙයා හරහට copy කරලා ඉන්න කලින් ඔය අතර කරේ. දැන් කෙනෙක් හිතනවා එහෙමම කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා නෑ. අනිත් පැත්තට දාන්න. දෙප පාතලා තියෙන්නේ ඒත් එහෙමයි right. දැන් ඔයාලට බලන්න පුළුවන් right. Okay, right ළමයි. Then thanks මේ අපිල close කරන්න.
Okay, sir.
right. අපි තා පොඩ්ඩක් time තියෙනවා. Then මේක බලන්න ළමයි ඔයාලා දැකලා ඇති ඔයාලගේ finance table. Finance table තියෙනවා මොනවද finance table? What are the finance table we have studied? දැන් finance table කීයක් පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙනවද XML වල? කියන්න බලන්න. තමයි කියන්න බලන්න what are the finance table we have studied for your finance? Time value tables, present value interest factor, future value interest factor, තව present value interest factor of an annuity. It was future value interest factor of an annuity. We told you right our subject is accounting modeling. It is not limited to accounting, right? We are developing accounting models, finance model. At the beginning, we told you this is not an isolated subject, right? You need to have prerequisite. We suppose we have studied basics of Excel and financial accounting, management accounting, financial management. So we are not going to discuss the concepts and principles related to any of those subjects. We never talk about accounting principles, management accounting fundamentals, so financial management fundamentals we don't discuss. But you need to have some idea about these basics, right? Okay, you know, present value interest factor that is 1 divided by 1 plus r to the power n. personal interest factor equals 1 divided by 1 plus R. I'm going to change that. Right? Oh, so 1 divided by 1 plus R. I think this is not relevant for me, right? Okay, 1. Don't worry about this, the dot, right? So percent value interest factor is equal to the power n, to the power n, to the power n, to the power n. Okay. Then future interest factor is equal 1 plus R to the power n. Likewise, there are different formulas. Percent interest factor formula I told you, right? 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 over 1 plus R to the power n divided by R. Here also same. There are different formulas. We have a formula there are only 2 variables. We have a formula only 2 variables are there. What are those 2 variables? R and N. You know the possible combinations, the R possible combination 1% to the Lanka and 40% then T-bill rate about 30 right? About 30 so Lanka finance table, then standard finance table Lanka Valanguna. Saman standard finance table 20% happen. Okay, interest rate is right 1-digit interest rates. UK around 2%, 3% interest rates. Inflation then maybe 2 digits Norway, maybe sorry, Ukraine and Russia war Europe gas energy crisis energy crisis again ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ රුසියාවේ සම්බාධන මත යුරෝපයට gas supply කරන්නේ රුසියාවේ Baltic සාගරය හරහා Nord Stream 1 කියන type maybe pipeline එකකින් ඒකට යම් බාධා තියෙන නිසා රුසියා දැන් supply එක නවත්තලා තියෙනවා. So UK has some, not only UK, whole Europe is facing energy crisis that directly influence their inflation, so that even UK and Europe people will experience some high interest rate. So forget about interest rate, right? Simply, your interest rate may be 1% to 10 to 20 in ළමයි පොඩක් okay, right. So accordingly, interest rate would be 1% to 20% normal cases, Sri Lanka, and then it should go up to 40% because T-bill rates is about 30%, right? We are not going to extend our discussion to that level. So let's say from 1% to 10% up here. 10% of interest rate, then different interest rate and different periods. So now you are required to develop present value interest factor table. Present value interest factor table. Within bracket 1 plus R 1 divided, right? 1 divided 1 plus R to the power n. Then මේ වගේ table එකක් කොහොමද හදාන්නේ? මේක අර මේ වෙන විදිහකට ලියන්න පුළුවන්, right? Okay. You can now see we can easily develop our finance table with this mixed cell reference technique. සාමාන්‍ය මේක වල මේ cell reference නැතුව දානවා නම් ඔයාලා විශාල පුළුවන් හදලා බලන්න mix cell reference දාන්න නැතුව there are some techniques, right? There are some techniques. For example, right, two-way data table technique එක හදන්න පුළුවන්. ඒවා different application. මම හිතනවා two-way data table කියන concept වල දාන්න නැතුව ඇති කියලා. If you don't know mix cell reference and if you don't know how to apply mix cell reference, developing this particular table would be a right time consuming task. හැබැයි අපි දැන් දන්නවා mix cell reference අපිට අවශ්‍යයි මේක පුරවන්න. අපි දැන් පාවිච්චි කරන මත mix cell reference එක. කොහොමද මෙතෙන් නෙවන්නේ දැන් අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ 1 plus so 1 divided by 1 plus r to the power n. එහෙනම් අපි DM formula එක equal 1 divided by දැන් hard coding ගණන් හිතන්නකෝ අපි එක දාන්න right 1 divided by again 1 plus මොකක්ද r කියන්නේ here r means this interest rate එහෙනම් r පෙන්නනවා click කරනවා reference එක දෙනවා හැබැයි දැන් දන්නවා r එකේ row constant different columns එහෙනම් මේ r එකේ අපි දෙන්න ඕන column relative තියන්න ඕන row එක fix කරන්න ඕන ඇයි එකම row එක row fix column change එහෙනම් අපි ඩොලර් මාර්කය දාන්න නම් එකට කලින් right එක හරි ඔන්න එයා ගන්න නම් close the bracket මේ ෆෝම් එක දීලා තියෙනවා to the power කොහොමද දන්නේ shift එකයි අර hat එක 6 ඉලක්කම තියෙන්නේ shift එකයි hat එක අපි ඊතලයේ ඔබනවා ඊට පස්සේ දැන් දෙනවා to the power කවුද n තියෙන්නේ මේ පැත්ත n කියලා මොකද්ද period එක සාමාන්‍ය output එක හරි මොකද standard formulas වල tables වල තියෙන්නේ අවුරුද්ද interest rate කැලි නෑ 1% 2% 1.68 තිබුණොත් එහෙමනම් calculator පිටයි හරි standard finance table වල නෑ right 0.007558 වල එහෙම නෑ right 1% 2% 3% අවුරුදු right මාස වලින් නෑ 1 year 2 year 3 year විදියට right okay to the power n අපි දානවා මේ පෙන්නනවා මෙතනින්. හැබැයි දැන් දෙන්න ඕන මොකද්ද reference method එක. දැන් අපි දානවා same column එක fix row relative. එහෙනම් column fix වෙන්න ඕන. column කියන්නේ C column එක fix කරන්න C එක මුලට විතරක් අපි ඩොලර් මාර්ක් එක දානවා. දැන් එන්න ගන්න. එතකොට මේක තමයි answer දැන් කියන හිතන්න පුළුවන් වැරදි නේද කියලා. ඔව් ඔයාලා දන්නවා අනිවාර්යෙන්. හරිද? present value interest factor PVIF එක හොදෙන්න ඕන. definitely it must be less than 1. ඉතින් මේ cell එක මම decimal නැති කරලා තියෙන්නේ. මම decimal ඇති කරන්නම් format කියලා control 1 ගහලා right number format මම decimal places දාමු සාමාන්‍ය finance table වල 4 තමයි හොඳම ගන්න. 4 දානවා. ඔයාලා දැන් පැහැදිලි decimal වලින් පෙන්නනවා මෙයාට අපි දැන් මේක මේ පැත්තට copy කරනවා අනෙක් පැත්තේ මේ පැත්තට copy කරනවා table එක හැදෙනවා that's it you can see without applying this mixed cell referencing technique it is very difficult to prepare a table like this if you want to extend to any number of right ලංකාවේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් bond rate right bond rate just T-bill rate can short term right අපි හිතමු දැන් long rate එක reserve දක්වා ගිහින් මේ වගේ කිසි ගැටලුවක් නැහැ මේවත් මෙයා කරලා අපිට අදින්න තමයි තියෙන්නේ අපිට right okay so this is another practically important scenario or instance where you need to apply mixed cell reference. Okay. Now, do you have any questions on up to this point? අපිට mixed cell reference දක්වා තමයි අපිට කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් මේ අද දිනට balance part එකට අපි next week කතා කරමු. හැකි වුණොත් මම pre-recorded video එකක් දානවා ඉතිරි කොටස cover ගන්න. එහෙම වුණොත් අපි next week එකේ අපි පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන් Excel tools. Important tools in Excel that can be used to enhance your model. For example, right? In this particular previous model, you could see, right? We can easily manipulate by applying this spin button. So මේ button එක කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? මේ වගේ තව techniques තියෙනවද? ඔව් තියෙනවා. කොහොමද ඒවා හදන්නේ? ඒවා අපි කතා කරන්නේ under third topic, important tools and techniques in Excel to enhance your model. හරි? ඒතර ඒකට යන්න නම් අපි මේ අද topic එකේ තව slides තියෙනවා. අද මේ topic එක ඉතුරු ටික අපි discuss කරනවා. මම පුළුවන් වුණොත් ඒකට කලින් අවුරුදු වල වීඩියෝ රෙකෝඩ් එකක් මම අප්ලෝඩ් කරනවා. ඒතර ඔයාලට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. කොහොමද දැන් ළමයි ඉන්නේ 50 ගානයි ළමයි 200කින්. ඒතර වීඩියෝස් වලින් තමයි ඔයාලා බලන්න වෙන්නේ. හරි. එතකොට next week ළමයි මම ඔයාලට මේක දාලා තියෙ activities. You can go and check. Here you can see class activity 1. ඉතින් මෙන්න මේ activity එකේ ඔයාලට දීලා තියෙන activities වගේක්. ඒ activity කරන්න. මම හිතන්නේ කරන්න පුළුවන් මට්ටමකට අපි කරුණාද දන්නේ නැහැ right? පොඩ්ඩක් බලමු අද කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් අද කරපු දේවල් right. Okay, you are required to prepare profit projection. Profit projections හදන්න කියනවා for the year 2023. අපි මේක පොඩ්ඩක් අවුත් දෙකන වල වෙන්න එපා right. Profit projection එක බලන්න හදන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, can be attempted. Then following table required. Okay, total sales of each product. right මේක කරන්න බෑ වාට මේක කරන්න පුළුවන් නමුත් අපි ඩිස්කස් කරන අපිට අවශ්‍ය රේන්ජ් නේම් කියන concept එක. ඕකේ ළමයි. එතකොට next week එකේදී මේ ගාන හදන්න. right මේ activity එකෙන් පළවෙනි activity එක attend කරන්න. It is exactly I think almost similar to the previous activity we discussed, but I think there are some changes right. පොඩි changes තියෙනවා. So you try this activity මේක download කරගන්න. Activity number 1 එක attempt කරන්න. එතකොට next week එකේ I'll give you a chance to share your answer. වෙනස්කම් තියෙනවා හරි. මෙතන දැන් බලන්න වල තියෙනවා unit growth එකක් තියෙනවා, price growth එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒතර පොඩි changes තියෙනවා. Okay. So accordingly download this activity file and try the first activity. Then balance activity you can't do till we discuss range name topic. Okay, right lamai. Then time is over. Let me save this and okay, right. I'll stop sharing and recording. So lamai, we will meet then next week. Are you okay with the time lamai now? Because you requested to change the time. Are you all okay with the time? There's no more extension, right? Lamai මොකද ඉතින් time එක okayද? Right, okay. Then it's okay, right? Right. Yeah. Some students are saying they are okay with the time. So then time is fixed every Tuesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay. So, good night. We'll stop the session.